Happy birthday from me to you.
What? You get a load of this?
Sure, make the rest of us look like cheapskates.
Hey, this is the most incredible gift that anybody ever gave me.
Oh, say, what a big, fancy, expensive car. Oh, you must be doing very well.
Tony, I know that it's extravagant, but I also know how much you love it, and I want you to have it.
Well, I really appreciate that, Angela, but you shouldn't have done this. I can't accept it.
Can I have it?
Hello, welcome back to
Hey, yo. Oh, wait.
the Who's the Boss podcast. I'm Tori,
I'm Kevin.
and we are here to rewatch and discuss every single episode of Who's the Boss. And we have hit the season 5 finale.
Wow, that's exciting.
It really is.
Right?
Yes. We are through.
Felt like it was
And
just
this was
yesterday when we started season 5.
It was 3 long months ago.
Oh.
And this season was a long season. It was 25 episodes
Right.
because we did the episode that actually never aired.
Right.
So I'm very proud of us. Next, we'll move on to season 6. Okay, this episode. Oh, before we get started. So when we did Ode to Angela, was it Ode to Angela?
The last one?
No, I'm sorry. Hang on.
I don't know.
No. Tony
I'm
Does
sorry.
Golf. It was Tony Does Golf. The pig joke is in Tony Does Golf. And we went over what the whole pig joke is, which was a horrible joke, and we won't talk about it again now. And Mona had said to him, "Did you tell the pig joke? Or whatever you do, don't tell the pig joke."
Right.
So somebody on Instagram, Trivially Yours, mentioned that the pig joke is also probably the same pig joke that Samantha tells Tony not to tell in the episode The Way We Were, or The Way We Was.
The way we was, yeah.
Because they showed us like these fake flashbacks of how Samantha and Tony got there. And when they're outside, she says, "Whatever you do, don't tell the pig joke." So it's got to be the same pig joke.
Yeah, it has to be.
So that's some good continuity. The
I know,
pig
it really
joke
is.
must have been a favorite.
Because you didn't even hear the pig joke then.
Right. And then we still never actually, we finally hear the punchline
Right,
of
the
the pig joke.
punchline. But
Yeah.
we ended up looking up the joke.
Which helped
right.
us, which led us to that horrible joke.
Yes.
So thank you for that, because I totally missed that when we did the episode. Okay, so today we're going to cover It's Somebody's Birthday. This first aired on Tuesday, May 16th, so it's May Sweeps, and it's the season finale, 1989. Angela puts Tony behind the wheel of a new car for his birthday, but Tony can't find the drive to sell his beloved van. There's a lot of puns going on there.
Yeah, there is. You know, earlier when I was looking this episode up on Antenna TV, it said it's a quick. The summary's like really quick, and it said like Tony refuses a gift from Angela, a new van.
A new van.
It's not a new van.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so whoever did the Antenna TV descriptions is wrong.
It's a black Jeep that I bet looked really
I bet you it was
fancy.
cool. I remember
in
those
1989.
back then, and those
oh
were
yeah,
cool looking
those were
back
very
then.
cool looking cars.
Those black Jeeps. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I got Tony
Okay.
plans to treat himself for his upcoming birthday to a shiny successor for his utterly run-down van, but decides against the expense. Angela offers to make it a birthday gift, which is turned down as too extravagant. Then, to share the costs since it's useful for the whole household. Even then, Tony can't quite bring himself to chuck his first ever vehicle and convinces Sam of its unique souvenir value, but already advertised to sell it. Listen.
Okay. All right. Well, all the information is there for sure.
Yeah.
Does it end up that he does sell it? No, it doesn't say that. Okay.
No, it doesn't say. It does not. It's no spoiler alert.
I just spoiled you. Okay.
Yes.
So this episode was written by Alan Mandel, and this is going to be his last episode for Who's the Boss?
And he wrote a few before. I don't remember.
Yes, Spud Micelli,
Okay.
Marie's Secret, Tony the Patchmaker, Hit the Road Chad. A lot of
okay.
ones that we, a Raging
all this
Housekeeper. No.
Oh, okay.
Older Than Springtime, Walk on the Mild Side, Reconcilable
Of course not. Hit
Differences,
the Road Chad.
a
I'm an idiot.
moving episode, and Somebody's birthday. Oh, yeah. So he actually hadn't written an episode since 1987. He hadn't written an episode since the season 3 finale.
Wow.
And then, but he probably worked for the show in other capacities, other like producing or story editor or something like that. All right, now, did I cover all that? Yes.
I think so.
When this episode opens, it's the day before Tony's birthday. And how do we know that? Because he's singing a song.
I know.
It's the day before somebody's
all of it's
birthday.
not obnoxious. He comes in, he's singing. A made-up song, mind you.
Well, this is a Tony Danza song. He really sings this song, but we've seen it in other episodes. When Angela's birthday,
I remember.
He and Mona sang, "It's somebody's birthday, I wonder who." Like somebody right in this room
so
near
it's
you.
like a variation of it.
Blah, 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 blah. Right. So then now he's singing that it's the day before somebody's birthday because he wants to get as much mileage out of this song as he possibly can. So he's all excited. He's happy that his birthday's coming up. And then there's this weird shot of Jonathan that must have been a pickup because they show him head on. So you see behind him where like the stove is and the countertop that we normally don't see.
Yeah, it's weird.
And he says, "How come you don't cry about your birthday all day like my mom does?" And it's almost like Danny Pintauro forgot what acting was for a few seconds there. And it had to be partially because they shot this as a pickup. So
yeah, it feels like it's a pickup because it could have just been anywhere. So either the microphone wasn't there to pick up his mic or to pick up his voice.
Well, I think
He
just to
was
get that
low.
shot with the background that isn't normally there.
I know, but that shot could have been. Yeah, I guess that's
Because-
a lot to set up. I mean, I just
I
feel like
know.
something went wrong during the main shooting, and they did a pickup.
Oh, and they
with-
did it afterwards, I see.
right
And
with
then-
him by himself. No one was there, and that's
Right,
the only way you
right.
can do it.
So him reading that line all by himself is going to have way different energy than him reading that line sitting at this table with the other actors. So I think that's why it just
it
sounds
gives you like a weird
Yeah,
like he
it
probably
just
had to
sounds
say
so
it a
out
couple
there.
times.
Yeah.
It just didn't work.
And I don't know, they're just going in we're really getting into a strange territory with Jonathan here. Like we hit that episode with, that was kind of like the Romeo and Juliet one, Heather Can Wait.
Yeah.
Where he was like really mature and like, I thought we were going to start on a path. And ever since then, he has just been the annoying little brother with these like awful one-liners. And it's really kind of a bummer. So after his line, then they're all laughing like, "Oh, ha, ha, ha. Mommy cries because she's getting old."
I know it's terrible.
And, but he's feeling really good about himself. He's like, age is only a number, and I'm still doing great.
He's snapping and flexing
And then Mona reminds him that men hit their sexual peak at 18. And he's like, "It's a good thing I'm not an average guy."
of course he's
Yeah.
not an average guy.
And so he's going on about how he did like a bunch of one-arm push-ups and he's showing off his little muscles.
I know.
And he's asking them like, "What are you guys planning to do for my birthday?" Trying to get some
Intel, some
yes.
information.
I have to say too, Samantha's hair is gorgeous in this scene. And it's just like really luscious and curly. And I could see this permed look coming back now.
Yeah.
Not like the tight perms that we've seen on other 80s style
Like
hair.
kind of the wavy.
Yeah, but like just kind of these big, and I mean, this might even be a little bit back now, but I could see this coming back with the kids in their 80s clothes, like a variation of the large 80s hair where this is a bit toned down, I guess, because we're headed into the 90s, but still like kind of big and wavy, but it looks really pretty.
Yeah.
So Sam says he's asking what they're going to do for his birthday, and they're like, "Oh, just something small with some nice presents." And then Sam reminds them that Mrs. Rosini's going to come by with her chocolate apricot cake.
Ugh.
Yes, I guess she does that every year.
I know, but it sounds awful.
And he's like, "Yeah, it's a tradition." And then Sam's like, "And you throw it away every year." And he's like, "Yeah, that's a tradition too."
Yeah, it's a tradition.
So he gets ready to leave to go to school. He goes out in the backyard, and then Mona's like, "We should really go all out for Tony's birthday." Oh, I figured out that Tony's probably turning 38 here because I think Tony is the same age as Tony Danza. So he would have been 38 here.
Okay, well, that's good. You
Yeah.
figured that out.
Oh, yeah. I'm the brains of this operation.
That's clearly.
And so Mona's like, "We should have exotic birds and a champagne fountain." Angela's like, okay, well then are you
not a
planning to pay for that? Yeah. I mean, that's what Mona wants for her birthday. We never had a Mona birthday, did we?
No, not that I remember.
Yeah, everybody forgot
She
Mona's
doesn't
birthday.
deserve a birthday party.
Jonathan never got a birthday either, I don't think.
Oh,
Poor
that's
kid.
sad.
He got nothing. I think the new boy that's going to come in to kind of almost replace Jonathan is even going to get a birthday party.
The new boy.
You'll see.
Oh, God. They pulled a not family ties, growing pains.
Yeah, kind of, except nobody births him. He just kind of shows up, and then he disappears just as quickly as he showed up. So they hear that Tony's having trouble out in the backyard with the van, and they're like, oh, man, that
It makes
van.
some weird noise that doesn't sound... It sounds like somebody made the noise with their car, with their mouth for the show. It's a ridiculous noise.
So they all go out to help him, and this is something that they're familiar with because they're all like, okay, regular positions, and he's like, yes, and he's all like, I'm sorry, this thing's a piece of junk, and it's always making me late, and I really need to get a new car. So Sam's like, you're never going to get a new car because you said that plenty of times before, and it's never happened.
Yep.
So the positions are that Mona gets in the car,
Yeah,
and then
she's the driver.
Sam and Angela and Tony and Jonathan all start pushing. Is this car stick? Is this van stick shift?
Possibly.
thing?
It's old.
Yeah, I didn't
Although
realize
I
that
don't-
vans would have had.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I have no idea.
So as they're pushing, Mona's got the brake on. I don't really understand this joke here, other than Mona's just being kind of flighty. But
Well, he says, Mona, the brake.
Yeah.
And then she says, it's on.
It's
and then realizing,
on.
oh, it's supposed to be off.
right, it's got to be off because they need to start rolling.
Yeah, hey,
she's
Grandma.
done this before. So they get the car rolling. Mona's now got the brake off, and Tony's off to school. So hi, Miles. So later in the day, Tony shows back up at the house, and what?
Nothing. I'm laughing at what's actually coming. I kind of enjoyed this episode.
He shows back up at the house, yes, and if I miss anything, feel free to jump in because I am kind of summarizing here. And he has a Jeep, a 1989 brand new black Jeep Cherokee. That's what I'm thinking that is.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. And Angela, they all come outside and they're like, oh my gosh, you bought a new car. And he's like, I haven't bought it yet, but he must have been test driving it and asked to go by his house.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
Because I guess that's a thing. But it makes sense because this way they didn't have to.
do a car dealership scene.
Right, there's no set. They just had it right here
A
in
set,
the backyard.
yeah. So they pull it. They do it all here.
And he's with the salesman who's really going for the hard sell. And Tony is super excited, and he's not even trying to hide it. He's like fawning all over the car, and he's showing Angela that it smells new, and he just can't get over the fact that it's like not a broken down van.
I know, and he likes the horn. Like
The kids,
child.
yeah, oh right. He's like, listen to that horn. And then the salesman sees the kids, and he gives them lollipops. I guess this guy just travels around with lollipops.
It's very strange.
Yeah, is it it's like a banker thing, isn't
Yeah,
it? But I
or
guess
like for kids, not
right, yeah.
these kind of kids.
Right. And so they even kind of like Samantha makes a snarky like, "Oh, gee, thanks."
I know.
And they take the
I would have
lollipops.
taken it back.
I know. So Angela's like, can I talk to you in the kitchen for a minute? So she drags Tony in the kitchen and she's like, listen, you just need to tone down the excitement here because we're not going to get a good deal unless you don't make it seem like you want the car so bad. And the salesman's all like, oh, got to get back to the dealership. So Angela sits him down and she says, we'll take this car off your hands if you'll knock $1,000 off. And what does she want?
Extended
An
warranty.
warranty.
Extended
Yes.
warranty and $1,000 off.
Wow. So when Angela gets phone calls on the phone about her extended warranty, then it would actually be a real call instead of
Yeah.
all the robocalls that we get for an extended
Well, there's
warranty.
such thing as an extended warranty. It just...
I know, but what are those calls? Like, I feel like everybody gets those
I don't
with
know.
fake extended warranty calls on a
I don't
car
know.
you don't
It's-
even
you know
own.
what? It's a racket. I mean, there really are extended warranties, and you can buy them.
Mm-hmm.
But like everybody I've known that's gotten them, and somebody out there can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe they've had a good one. But you always buy them, and then they go to the dealership, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's not covered. Like there's always it's just like the home
right.
warranty.
Yeah.
Remember when we bought a house, we got a home warranty that they gave us with the house.
Yes.
The person came out to look at the dishwasher. Oh, no, it's not covered. It's like everything's not covered.
Right.
They always find a way. That's what they are.
We got lucky though on that. We bought an extended warranty or some kind of extra warranty on the TV that we had before this one.
Well, see, that's different. We're buying it on the product. Like we have it on our appliances. We always buy the extended warranty.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the home shield.
Oh,
or
I gotcha.
whatever.
Right. Yeah.
They come out to fix existing things, and they're always like, "Oh, we can't fix that."
Yeah, because they gave us a brand new TV, and the TV wasn't even that broken.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the show.
Sorry.
I got derailed with the warranty. So Angela's like trying to play hardball, and the guy's like, "Sorry, the best I can do is knock $200 off." And she's like, "All right, well, too bad."
He says just 200. I think.
That's what I said. What did I say?
Oh, you said knock $200 off.
Isn't that the same number?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking knock $200 off of her 1,000.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Never mind.
Gotcha.
Nah, I'm not thinking. You're absolutely right. Please proceed.
He's only willing to take off $200. So he's like, "Oh, sorry, can't do it." And he goes to leave, and Tony's like, "Oh man, you let him get away." And Angela's like, "Don't go running after him. He is going to come back. He's a car salesman. This is what they do." And she's right. He comes back in, and he's willing to take the car he's willing to do the offer of $1,000 and the extended warranty.
You know what's so funny is, backtracking a little bit, I'm sorry, we did miss something, is when he says, "The children are so lovely," and he's like, "And that boy looks just like you, Tony." So you know the guy's cheesing, and he's lying, because...
I know, but this guy doesn't know that they aren't married.
I know, but he's just trying to be all right. He's trying to cheese up to him.
Absolutely.
To get him to buy the car.
Yeah, and then at some point, Angela had made a joke out in the...
About the Grateful Dead.
Yes, that she was so happy he was not going to be driving the van anymore, so it won't look like somebody's parked at the Grateful Dead concert, and he laughed.
He just loses his mind.
Yeah, and she's like, if he laughed at that, then he really wants our money. So Tony goes back to the dealership with the salesman to like wrap up the deal, and the kids and the family are getting their presents for Tony ready. So Sam has, what is this, a barbell?
Yeah,
and
it's
weights?
like a weights, and she wrapped the weights around. She wrapped paper around the weights and paper around them. I mean, it's obvious what it is.
Right.
It's so ridiculous. But I guess what else are you going to do?
And she's very excited about her present, and so is Angela. She's like, "Oh, this looks great." And she's like, "Yes, it's something that only a daughter would get her father or a kid would get their parent." And then Jonathan comes down the stairs with the exact same weight set. So hang on, you're telling me that this 17-year-old, okay, so I guess she probably could have gone to the store and, picked it out, had somebody help her. Jonathan can barely get this thing down the stairs. How did he go buy this all by himself without anyone knowing or helping him? And then get it home and then get it assembled and then get it back down the stairs?
Oh, okay. See, I don't have this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I'm like looking at your...
Oh, I see. But you knew that she had wrapped it...
Well, I saw it late. You see it later in my
okay,
episode. It's just on the floor.
Okay, yeah.
Because they're like, tell her, get the weights, put the weights away or something.
Okay.
He's home.
So they both bought Tony the same thing.
She's putting the bow on it.
I see. Well, that's before. Jonathan's going to come down the stairs.
I don't... Okay.
Oh, no, yeah, wait, hang on.
No, he's already there.
No, you're right. They do. They cut that part out, and they go straight to Mona.
Yeah.
Okay, so the joke here is that Sam and Jonathan have bought Tony the same gift.
Right, which they've cut.
And then Jonathan, who, again, like, I don't know, the acting is off here. The writing is off here. It's just, I don't understand what's happening with his character. But he's like, "Oh, wow, amazing. We're on the same wavelength." And Sam's just staring at him.
Right, like he's out of his mind.
Yeah, and she's like, never mind. We are not on any wavelength. We are not connected. I'm bringing these back. And he's like, "Wow, that's exactly what I was thinking." So he's getting Sam to return her gift, and he gets to keep his, which was his plan all along. So then Angela goes over to Mona, and Mona says, "I'm giving Tony the best gift of all, a blank check." And Angela looks at the check, and she's like, "Wait a minute, that's my check, and you forged my name."
Again, Mona. I mean, really, this is what we're doing?
This is...
For his birthday?
Yeah.
You're stealing a check.
From your daughter.
And you're making it blank.
So you're not going to get anything for Tony. And instead...
Except a blank check from your daughter. Gotcha.
Okay, just checking. Funny character, horrible person. And she's like, "You forged my name." And Mona's like, "Is it really forgery if it's your own daughter?" And she says, "Yes, it is. It is."
Yeah,
actually
like,
still forgery.
surprise.
Yeah. So
And
Tony...
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I like that she goes to open the door for Tony.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, am I jumping? No, because Tony's already inside. The wire hanger is hanging on the... Is hanging there. There's a wire hanger hanging
right,
there, which
'cause
is
that's
used
gonna
later
come
in
up,
the
yes,
episode. So
yes.
it's kind of funny it was there the whole episode.
Yeah, they got to
I
get
just
there.
now
I'm
noticed
surprised
it.
they didn't just put it in that cabinet under the stairs where they keep all the
They
other
keep
shit they're
everything
going to
else.
need as a
Random
prop.
wire
in a minute.
hanger.
Yeah, it's just hanging there like somebody just forgot to put the wire hanger
Yeah, like
away.
they hung the jacket, brought a jacket down or something.
So when Angela goes to open the front door and let Tony in, she realizes that he is not driving the new car, but instead still driving his van. So she comes in, she's like, "Where's the new car?" And he's like, "Oh, I decided not to get it." And she's like, "But you loved it." And he said, "Yeah, I did. I loved it. But then when I sat down and did the paperwork and I really did the math, I didn't think that I loved it that much." So do we think that Tony really can't afford this car, or do we think that Tony just doesn't want to spend money on something for himself?
Probably that.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's yeah.
Maybe a little bit of both, but probably more of that.
Because, I mean, he can't be doing that. He has no mortgage to pay. His room and board is taken care of. Most of Samantha's stuff is taken care of. Like,
I know.
you
I
would
just think he feels like, oh, I can just fix the van, like
Right,
he says.
it'll be fine.
I can fix it up for a fraction of the price.
Right.
It's a waste of money. You know, I mean, he just shouldn't be so wasteful.
And then he remembers that his muffler is falling off, so he takes that wire hanger that's on the little rack by the front door and goes out to fix it.
Yeah.
And we'll find out that it's really more emotional than anything, money-wise.
Yes.
So now we're finally to Tony's birthday, because all of that stuff was the day before his birthday.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So this is Tony's birthday, and they're getting all their gifts ready, and guess who shows up at the front door? Mrs. Rosini with
Really?
her chocolate apricot cake she's surprised him with.
Yeah. It's.
What?
I don't know. Her appearance is interesting in this episode to me.
Yeah, it's just kind of not... There's really not much point to it, I guess.
There was no reason really to have her on, but maybe they just felt like, oh, we're having a birthday party.
Yeah, like maybe it was just to add a little bit more of Brooklyn.
Yeah,
like
I
a
guess
little bit
so.
more of what Tony was leaving behind. Because she's supposed to kind of be like his mother figure, I guess.
Yeah,
so
I'll take it.
Mrs. Rosini shows up with her cake, and she sees Jonathan and Samantha, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are getting so big." And she looks at Jonathan and she says, "Do I feel a whisker?" Because she pinches his cheek.
Oh, gosh.
And Samantha just starts laughing.
Aww.
And then she goes to hug Samantha, and this is so Italian grandma. She's like, "You're perfect, you're beautiful, you need to gain 5 pounds."
Yeah. I guess.
They're always trying to make you eat.
Yeah, always.
And so she shows Tony the cake, and he acts like he's all surprised. And look at the banner in the background. It just says it's somebody's birthday.
I know.
It's kind of very what is that episode of The Office when Dwight puts up Dwight's in charge of the party one time?
Yeah.
For somebody's birthday, and it just says it is your birthday.
It is your birthday.
It's kind of what that reminds me of.
It's somebody's birthday. But isn't that the song?
Yes, it is. That's
So it
exactly
goes-
right.
it all
Yeah,
goes
it's somebody's
together.
birthday. So then when they're all, and then Mrs. Rosini brought party hats. And I can't remember, have we already set up in a previous episode that Mrs. Rosini and Mona don't get along? Or is this the start of that?
I don't remember that. Because I
don't
felt like
either.
she was it was a bit much in this episode.
Yeah, and I can't remember the
So this
last
must be
time
the
Mrs.
start of
Rosini
it.
was on. Maybe the fish truck episode.
I
There
don't
might have
I
been
don't remember,
some.
though. Maybe.
But yeah, this goes in a direction now where Mrs. Rosini and Mona are kind of really butting heads. And it's another just kind of tired storyline of two women who they're around the same age, so they're going to be competitive and they're going to not get
I
along.
know, all she did was show up, and Mona's like, "Let the games begin."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're trying to steal checks.
And then Miss Rosini puts on party hats, and Mona says, "I don't do party hats, Bunky." And
I know, just not nice.
I meant to look up Bunky because I'm kind of
Bunky.
curious as to what that means. Because if it's not that bad, I think I want to adopt it. I kind of like it.
Well, let's find out.
Bunky.
Bunky, Bunky.
Yeah. So you look for that. I'll keep going. And then they hear a horn beeping outside, and Tony recognizes that horn because he was very excited about the Jeep Cherokee's fancy horn. And they're like, "What is that? What's happening?" So they all go out back. Angela comes in and she's like, "Let's go see what's out there." They all go back out in the driveway. And Sam makes a joke to Jonathan. She tells him to go first and says, "After you, Grizzly Adams."
Yeah. No, it's... Oh, is it Grizzly Adams?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I don't know why I thought it was Wolfman Jack. Same thing. I mean, it's a man with a beard.
He has a Google image, just a whole page of Wolfman Jack up.
Don't reveal my secrets.
All right, who's Grizzly Adams?
Well, Grizzly Adams is also has a... It makes way more sense, though, because Grizzly Adams has way more of a thicker beard. So it would make more sense.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, oh my gosh. Oh, yeah, he looks like something out of the Bible.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. So they go, oh, I'm sorry, what's Bunky?
I'm still working on that.
Oh, really? It might not be anything, so maybe it's just a Monaism.
I'm going to Urban Dictionary, which is like the
Oh, no,
gutter.
don't do that.
Well, it's still...
Okay, when we get out...
could be something.
Oh, what does it say?
I mean, from...
I just feel like it's going to be some horrible sexual position or
well, yeah, one
someone
of them always
pooping in a
is.
bag.
Yeah, pooping in a bag.
What is it?
Bunky refers to a situation or person that is unappealing or not acceptable.
Oh, all right. It's kind of mundane.
That
Kinda.
skateboard trick was Bunky.
All right, so I won't use it for people because it's kind of too mean for people, but maybe things. Bunky. Okay, so they get out in the backyard, and I have to point out here, let's take a quick look at Angela's. Your episode is just running away with you without you.
Because I was
over
looking
there.
up Bunky. I lost control.
But when you rewind, I want you to look at Angela's outfit because she looks like a scarecrow. Like it's this weird sort of Halloween / Thanksgiving
yellow pants
plaid.
and then a tablecloth shirt with like
It does look
leaves
like a
all over it.
tablecloth. Oh my gosh.
It's an interesting outfit.
It's a very interesting outfit. And it's not even supposed to be like October. I think it's really supposed to be May, even though who knows when Tony's birthday is. So they get out into the backyard to see that the Jeep is back and so is the car salesman.
Yeah, this guy must be like ready to be done with them.
Absolutely. Okay, now let me tell you who this actor is because I didn't do it earlier. So his name is Stuart Pankin. Yeah. I think that's how you say it.
I recognized him.
Yeah, I recognize him too, but again, I don't know from what. Like, I think he's just... We've seen him in so many things growing up that he just looks like an uncle that we used to know.
Yeah, well, he won awards for Not Necessarily the News, which I used to watch as a kid.
What was that?
Not necessarily the news. It was like fake news, like making fun of news. Well, it was on. I think it was on HBO. I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on HBO, but it was like that kind of a show. It was a mock newscast.
Oh yeah, 47 episodes of that. 1988. Falcon Crest. I may recognize him from that. Knots Landing. Just a bunch of stuff.
Oh, and Not Necessarily the News was before.
Now that you're saying that, it does kind of sound familiar, but I don't know if maybe if I saw it, I would remember it. Oh, he did some episodes of That's So Raven. Our kids would enjoy that.
You know what? I probably recognize him from recent stuff too. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still working. Last thing on here, he's got a couple of things in pre-production or completed, but not out yet. And there was something in 2021 that he worked on. Nothing like super recognizable, but definitely still working. But yeah, just
Dharma and Greg.
Just that face that you just remember. I did not say Dharma and Greg. So Angela tells Tony he drove your birthday present here, and she hands him the keys and says happy birthday.
Oh boy.
And the whole family goes crazy. They're like, they cannot believe that she just gave Tony a whole car. So is Mrs. Rosini. She's like, what a big, fancy, expensive car.
Of course.
You must be doing well. And Angela's just like not wanting to have this conversation. So Tony's like, this is the nicest, most extravagant thing that anyone's ever given me. And he's like, I'm sorry, but I just can't accept it. So he hands her the keys back and he leaves.
And you know, I don't remember this episode at all, obviously. And I knew he was going to do that.
Yeah.
Tony being Tony.
Yes, Tony's way too proud to accept a gift like that. And like, this is a very like they have a unique, obvious... Okay, yes, they have a unique friendship to begin with. obviously these two people are headed in the direction of being a married couple at some point. Now, if this was a husband giving his wife a new car for her birthday, no one would even bat an eye.
No.
If it was a wife giving her husband a new car for his birthday, that's like, wait, what? You know, like we have a different reaction to that.
Right.
So even in that situation, it would be a struggle. And now they're not even to that level yet. So she's giving him, a friend, a very extravagant gift that he could never, like nothing he ever gives her would be able to match that money-wise.
Right.
Angela doesn't care because for Angela, it's not about the money. But I think it really puts him in a position where even if they were in a relationship, he would have a problem with this, and they're not in a relationship yet. So
yeah,
it's
that's a
really
good point.
kind of just an
that's
awkward
a good point.
thing for him. But she's doing it from a good place. So he says he can't accept it, and he walks away. And Mona tries to swoop right in there. Can I have it?
I know. I have to, again, after she stole a blank check.
Yeah, who knows how much she wrote that check out for. It's a little later that night. It must be after the party. And Angela's in the kitchen cleaning up, and Tony comes in there. And I like how he points out the teddy bear plates. Like, what is it just a joke because it's like child plates for a grown
probably
man's?
like leftover from Jonathan's birthday a few years ago or something.
Probably. I know that is always what the parents end up getting,
I
whatever
know.
leftover shit you can find in the kitchen. So he tells her, I'm really sorry about what happened earlier. And Angela says, you have nothing to apologize for. Like, I overstepped and I understand. And she's like, I know it was a really expensive gift and I'm sorry. So he's just trying to get her to understand his point of view, which is, I've never owned anything that expensive. So for someone to give that to me as a gift is really uncomfortable.
Right. It's not Tony. Tony didn't expect that.
Right. So Angela says, maybe we can work something out. Maybe we can split it 50-50. So you pay half the payment and I pay half the payment. I feel like even that would be a hard thing for a man to swallow,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know certainly when you're like a younger kid starting out, like I remember my uncle like bought my car outright and then I paid him for it.
Right.
To like
I
help me
remember
out.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that.
And
story.
like my parents paid like half of my rent when I first like got my first place. So I think it's almost like for her to offer that to him is kind of awkward also. But it does make sense. And at some point, these two are going to be married, so it's going to be everybody's money at that
right.
point. So
it won't matter.
Right. And so they kind of talk him into it. He is a little uncomfortable with that, but that seems better to him than. But the thing is like, can't Tony really just afford the car? Like, I feel like it's more just that he doesn't want to spend the money on the car and not absolutely can't afford it, but whatever. So they talk him into it. Mrs. Rosini has this horrible story about how if she's in the van with Tony and they're in a snowstorm, she's going to die.
She made it all about herself.
I know.
Pretty incredible.
But Angela has the best point, which is, it's not just about you. First of all, you live here with that piece of crap car. She's been dealing with this piece of crap car van in her driveway for 5 years. But she's saying, too, you pick up Jonathan, you run errands, you do stuff and so you need a reliable car. Like, we can't be pushing your car down the driveway every day.
Right.
And so he goes for it. And he's like, all right, I'm going to keep the car. So then he decides now he has to sell the van. So he's trying to clean up the van, and he's got, prospective buyers coming over. And
Prospective buyers.
the first guy... All right, you talk about this actor because you really.
Where did they?
Kat, seriously, what are you doing?
What did he do? List it in the paper? There's no Craigslist.
No, but he absolutely put a classified ad in the paper. I'm sure. When I was going through, I was trying to find if that episode of Living Dolls ever actually aired, and I found old scans of the San Bernardino Times.
Oh yeah, right.
I saw the classified ads, and it brought back so many memories of like.
Oh really? That's so funny.
Like look in the Sunday comics and like the TV Guide part of the newspaper. Like, I mean, I'm guessing that there's probably still classified ads in the
I would guess
actual
there
newspaper,
has to be, right?
But we just don't get a newspaper anymore. Okay, I'm sorry. Tell me about this actor here.
This is Ron Karabatsos.
Oh.
And I immediately recognize, it's so weird.
Yeah, he
because
has a recognizable
I
face,
immediately
too.
recognize him, which then told me, well, it's probably Seinfeld, which is what I always recognize people from. But I recently was watching Cheers. Mm-hmm. And he's in an episode of Cheers, and that's where I recognize him from. And he plays an obnoxious Yankee fan who ends up he threatens Sam and tells him that he has to fire what's her name? Now I'm drawing a blank.
Carla. Yeah.
Because she assaulted him. She did something, I forget what. And he ends up threatening the bar, saying he's going to sue if he doesn't fire. Anyway, that's where I recognize him from.
So I clicked on
But
his...
he's actually in Flashdance.
I know. Who is he in Flashdance?
I don't. Do you think I know? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that movie. So I clicked on his name to see if he was Greek, because it seemed like a Greek last name.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I didn't find that out, but
okay.
He had a very so he was a foreman at General Motors and then for 24 years a cop with the Union City Police Department before becoming an actor.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and he was also a professional wrestler.
Wow.
Yeah. He passed away April 17th of 2012.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's a bummer. But yeah, so again, recognizable face, character actor on quite a few things. So
a lot of things, yeah.
He's the first one that comes to the house, and he's like, I saw your ad about the 67 Chevy in mint condition. He's like, where is it? And Tony's like, it's right here. And the van's behind him. He's like, is it behind this piece of crap?
Yeah, it's funny.
I know. So he's like, you want $500 for this? And then he's like, it doesn't matter because I'm planning to strip everything down and sell the shell for scrap metal and blah, blah, blah. So Tony hears that and he's like, yeah, hit the road, Jack, because you're not getting this van.
Yeah, so now Tony looks insane to this guy.
Then the next lady shows up and it's, I don't know, I guess she's supposed to be some sort of hippie
I know,
character.
this is great.
Yeah. And she wants to buy the van and she's going to put 7 or 8 of her friends in it and they're going to drive to LA and just all this ridiculous stuff.
Like, of course they're going to drive to LA.
Yeah.
And be all...
That van is never going to make it to Los Angeles
No.
from Connecticut, just so she
Sky
knows.
doesn't know that.
Now, this actress is Julie Payne, and she's been in quite a few things. And the thing that I noticed the most was she plays Cheryl's mother on Curb Your Enthusiasm. So that's
okay.
Larry David's wife's mother. I don't remember the episodes, but she's in 7 of them, so she's probably been on quite a bit.
Which is
90210.
funny because Stuart Penkin is in 2 episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, but probably... Oh, I wonder if it's the same one. No, probably not.
No, but just that's interesting.
Yeah.
2 people in this episode end up being in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I love that. I feel like some of these people either, have the same casting companies, agents.
Yeah,
and then
who
they just
knows?
kind of go
Interesting.
from show to show. The other thing, too, is she has a lot of Garfield and Friends on her.
I saw that.
So who is she? Miss Wilson. Oh, Miss
Got
Arbuckle. So she's played a few characters on Garfield as a voice actor. So Tony doesn't want to sell it to this lady either because he doesn't want her to have.
Yeah, he don't want the orgies going down in
I
the van.
know
She's like, I could fit like 7 or 8 people, and he's like, men and women. She's like, whatever.
Yeah.
He don't want the drugs and the sex going on in the van.
Right. And she plans on painting it and putting yellow coyotes on it.
Yeah, that's where you had to draw the line.
Yeah. So again, he sends her off packing. So later that night, now Tony's just sitting in the van, listening to music and staring out the windshield, looking all sad and depressed. And in the house, they're watching Mona and Samantha are watching him, and Angela comes in and she's like, "Is he still out there?" And they're like, "Yes." He just looks all sad and
Can't let it go.
Yeah, can't let it go. So Sam's like, "Well, I'm going to go talk to him." And now Mona's like, "Be careful out there because maybe it's a blob that's eaten his brain, and now if you go out there, it's going to get you too." Okay, Mona, seriously, you are 0 help. So Sam goes out there to talk to her dad. She gets in the van, and he's like, "I can't sell this. It has way too many memories." And he shows her that he found a button, and it had been pinned, I guess, to the liner at the top of the van. and the button fell off his tuxedo when he got married to her mom. And so instead of sewing it back on, they just stuck it to the roof of the van.
Yeah, because to remember the day.
Right.
So
That's
it's kind of
kinda
nice. Side note, while Tony's sitting in the van, Up on the Roof by the Drifters is playing.
Oh, yes. I did.
So that is an actual song, and it's probably a song that was playing back in the day when, you know,
when
it
he
was
first
released
got
in 1964. So
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense.
So it's something he would have grooved to in the van.
So I think also, you know, getting rid of this van is him finally letting go of past Tony. Like, this is really the only thing he has left.
Right.
That he's taken with him from Brooklyn.
Right.
And it probably
and the
has...
wife.
Right, and obviously has a lot
has
of
a lot of
memories
memories.
about his wife. So really now the only tangible thing he has is Samantha, as far as, you know, his past, his late wife and his past life. So then he finds a nickel, and he's like, when you were a preschooler, you used to play with this nickel. How poor were they? Oh, they were very poor, and your preschooler shouldn't be playing with a nickel. And he's like, and you even named it. And she's like, oh, it's Mr. Nickel.
Mm-hmm.
So now she decides that they can't sell this van either. So she essentially has been taken over by the blob people as well. So Angela's like, well, damn it, I'm going out there. So she goes out there, sends Samantha back into the house because now Samantha's not any help. And she decides to talk to Tony. And he says the same thing, you know, like, I'm just an inner city kid from Brooklyn, and I drive a beat up old van, and this is who I am. And
he's accepting it.
Right. But she's like, you're so much more than that. You know, you're also a dad in Connecticut who's going to school, and he needs a good car. But she says, okay, if you want to hang on to this van, then we'll sell the car and you can keep the van.
For a depreciated value, we'll sell the car.
Right. We'll lose money on this car. It's very sweet that Angela's being supportive, but somebody does kind of need to smack him a little bit about the face.
I know.
Because it's time to let go of this van. Now, we're not I was going to say we're not the most sentimental people. We are not sentimental at all.
No.
I am probably even less sentimental than you are.
Probably.
So I don't really understand the idea, but I do know people who do get attached to things like this. And so I guess I can understand how someone would feel that way about the van, but I don't really.
And people get attached to cars.
Yeah.
People actually name their cars.
That is true, yeah.
I mean, we kind of
named our cars, but
we used to, but not like just nickname. I don't know.
Right.
But people that get into their cars and stuff, and when they go, it's just like, oh wow, I can't believe this car. Like, I think I kind of was like that maybe with older cars, but I got over it pretty fast when I got a new fancy car.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've always gotten a new car just because the old one was so awful and didn't have air conditioning or something fell off of it.
Right, that's true. There was always some kind of fancy advancement in a new car.
The idea of driving a van like this around for as long as he had is just not at all appealing, but it's very Tony Micelli.
Mm-hmm.
So they decide that he is not going to sell this van, and that is it. Until a kid shows up.
Yep.
Now, we were joking about the casting call for that kid in last week's episode being like a Kirk Cameron type.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a Michael Keaton type.
Oh, that's funny.
Because he kind of has a Michael Keaton look to him.
Did you look this guy up? He's done nothing.
He's done nothing,
3
yes.
things.
I did look him up, and hang on, where'd he go? I guess I closed it because he did nothing. Yes, he had 3. Oh, here we go. Craig Connor. And he has 3 credits. 1979, he was in The Omega Factor.
Okay. Don't know what that is.
10 years later, he had to have been a child because he's only, how old is he here? Then in 1989, he played Mitch. And then in 2017, The Lay of La La Land, he played a DJ. So I'm thinking he probably knew someone on The Lay of La La Land, because if not, I really give him credit for sticking it out that he...
And what if he was trying all the time, or he was doing something else?
He had to have been doing... I mean,
yeah.
I don't know that anyone would really try for that many years and only do
He's
one other
probably
thing.
an entertainment lawyer or something.
Well, good for him then.
Always happens that way.
So he shows up and he's like, I'm here, and Tony's like, oh, I'm sorry, man, the van's not for sale. And the kid's like, oh, that's a bummer because
There's
hang
that.
on. Hang on. Here's Ronan. Okay, we're back. So this kid shows up and he's really looking for a first car. He tells Tony like he can't really afford much, but he and his girl are going to get married soon and they really need a car. And then this brings back memories for Tony because he's like, yeah, when Marie and I first started dating, I didn't have a car for the first couple of months, and it was really hard being the only couple at Lover's Lane without a car.
Actually made me laugh.
It was pretty funny.
We were fogging up the other people's windows. December was a rough month.
So he starts to really feel for this kid, and the kid's like, all right, well, is there anyone else that you know of that's selling a van kind of around the same price? And he's like, no. And I love that this kid just is wandering around Connecticut, like as poor as Tony. Like, aren't they supposed to be in a really well-to-do area?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but then you wouldn't have what this is.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe he's somebody else's, like how Samantha is kind of, I guess not everybody in the whole town.
Trying to get his life started.
Yeah. So Tony decides to change his mind, and he's going to sell him the van. And not only is he going to sell them the van, he sells it to him for $300 instead of
Tony
$500.
sees himself in this guy.
He does. He really does. And he tells him, get a good tuxedo for your wedding.
Yeah.
So he's going to have the van all ready for him by tomorrow. The kid will come back. And so Angela and Samantha come out, and he's like, I sold the van. And they're like, yeah, we know. We were listening. And Sam says, it was Mona's idea, and you just hear Mona yell, no, it wasn't.
Who's the boss will be back in a moment. Stick around.
In the tag, Tony and Angela are back. It's a couple days later. He's now driving the van is gone. The Jeep is now in the place of the van, and they're washing it and waxing it. It looks really nice.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as
Does
they're
look good.
done,
Shiny.
it does, very shiny. As soon as they're done, it starts to thunder and like clouds come over like it's going to rain. And they're like, oh man, forget the fact that she has a garage.
I know.
Let's go put the car in the garage. And he's like, oh, no. And he's looking up, and then the clouds part and birds start singing and the sun comes out. And so he's like, oh man, I'm good. And then a bird shits on the car.
Yeah, the bird that was chirping shits in the car.
That's pretty funny.
It's a funny ending.
Okay, I'm going to go first with the rating this time. Again, I'm going to give this episode a 7. I enjoyed it. I feel, the Jonathan stuff is just a disaster, but there's nothing that we can do about that. So the rest of the episode, I feel, is pretty well done. It's got some funny parts. For a season finale, I feel like they maybe didn't up the sexual tension as much as they normally do between Tony and Angela.
Right.
But it was still kind of relationship driven as far as bringing up a interesting point as to the vast difference in how much money they make. So, yeah, I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I actually gave it a 7.5.
Ooh.
Because I actually really enjoyed this episode. Mm-hmm. I thought the story was fine and good. I mean, a little bit predictable here and there, but it's nice. It had a nice little touch of the memories of Tony and the van, and how it. Because for first it's like, dude, get rid of the van. I mean, what are you doing? But then you realize the sentimental value and like how much it meant to him, and I just can't sell it to anybody because.
Right.
He really, even though he's selling it, he still wants it to kind of live on as the van.
I know, but how much life do you think is left in this?
I don't know, but
that poor kid probably had to sink money into it.
Oh yeah, that kid's gonna regret the day he bought that van. So, like overall, it was there wasn't really any like dull parts or I don't know. Yeah. It was just an overall good. Like after I watched it last night, I'm like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Not that they're all awful, but I always find like
there are
things wrong.
Definitely ones that are better than the other.
For sure. And this was a good finale. And you're right, they didn't really go the Tony and Angela thing as far as romantically involved, but more of like he's a part of the family.
Right.
You know what I mean? We are all one big family kind of a vibe. Right. So yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Who's the boss around here? Me? Or my mother? Or maybe it's you?
I went to car salesman. He got the sale.
He did.
So he's the boss.
That is true.
I went with Tony. Yeah. Because I think Tony, and he needed a car, and he tried to went and looked for a new car, found one, loved it, then realized he couldn't afford it, and then and then Angela went and bought it, and he was too proud to take that, but then he makes a compromise with her, and then he ends up being able to sell the van in the very end and all that. I don't know. I just thought Tony was in control of the whole situation, but I mean, Angela was a close second for me, just because you know what I mean. She was like, if you don't want it, we'll take it back. Like, she didn't force it upon him or anything. She just tried to do something nice and realized that maybe she overstepped her boundaries or whatever. But yeah, I thought in the end I went with Tony. Yeah,
I agree. I went with Tony also because he had to be the one to finally make the decision to let this go, because it was never, I mean, I guess it was partially about the money since he took her offer on splitting it in half, but I think it was always more about just finally letting this van go and letting part of his old self go. So yeah, I went with Tony as the boss. Okay, so you can reach us at Who's the Boss Podcast on Instagram, Who's the Boss Pod 1 on Twitter, or on Facebook, it's the Who's the Boss Podcast page, or go to anchor.fm/WTB podcast, and there you can leave us a voice message. So our next episode will be season 6, and then
season 6, episode 1.
The season opener for season 6 is going to amp up the sexual tension.
Oh,
so
boy.
they did it a little differently.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe and give a big thumbs up and tell all your friends. And maybe you can tell your grandma, your mother, and your sister or brother. Maybe have no siblings. Tell your dog and cats. Bye.